Morning, everybody. I hope you're well. I am sneaking my palm reading in today before my 4-year-old's first Zoom meeting with his pre-K class, so that should be fascinating. I'm actually really looking forward to it. This poem that I have for you this morning is another love poem, but it's not about anyone I know. This poem is a poem based off of the myth of Orpheus and Eurydice. And I don't know how many folks are familiar with that myth, but I took an entire class on this myth when I was studying abroad in England my junior year in college. And it's a really interesting story. You can certainly Google it and look it up, but the gist is that Orpheus falls in love with Eurydice, and then she's bitten by a serpent, of course, and gets taken down into the underworld by Hades. And Orpheus goes down to get her. And the deal that Hades makes with Orpheus and Eurydice is that Orpheus may lead Eurydice out of the underworld, but he can't look back at her. And as is the case, I think, with most myths, they travel through the underworld and they get away from Hades. And right before they emerge sort of into the upper world, Orpheus turns around and looks back at Eurydice, and Hades grabs her and drags her back down to the underworld, and they are lost to each other forever. It's real cheery, like most myths, but it is a love story, and a poignant one at that, and I love mythology, and so I wrote this little poem about that story. So this poem is entitled Eurydice's Lament. Smooth stones dance across the riverbed to the tune of your beloved instrument as we wed beneath the laurel trees. Later, lingering in tall grass, I fail to see the serpent. As Hades' breath prickles my shoulder, I close my eyes and dream of you in our meadow. Wood and string slung carelessly across your back. Eyes cast down, gutting snakes, tears marking the dirt. Only your head hangs at the foot of your tomb, and I press my ear to the earth above, straining to hear you sing, farewell, farewell, farewell. So that's my poem, Eurydice's Lament, and I forgot to mention at the top, it's a persona poem from Eurydice's point of view, which you can probably tell. So after Orpheus lost her, he basically became sort of a wandering, sort of nomadic figure through the woods, and he mourned for her until the end of his life. And he, again, as is typical of most mythology, did not meet a great end. He was literally, as the story tells it, torn apart, and by a group of Amazons, I believe, but you can fact check me on that. And they, took his head and kind of put it at the top of his tomb, and the story goes that he continued to sing even after he was dead. He continued to mourn her. So like I said, it's not it's not the cheeriest story, but the depth of their love and the devotion to each other, I think, is admirable. And again, it's just a story, and I do love those stories. So I hope that you're all having a good day, and I'll speak to you soon.